Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome today to our presentation of RAL Colours. Before I dive into today's topic, let me briefly introduce our company to you, and let me briefly introduce myself to you. My name is Markus Frentrop. I'm the global head of RAL Colours, and I've been with the company for about 9 years now. Before I joined RAL, I was with some international coatings companies like AkzoNobel or PPG. So at the very beginning, and before I start to share my screen with you, let me thank the organizer for being given the chance to share a few information about RAL Colours with you today. And our utmost thanks goes for sure to our distribution partner, La Compagnia Intercolor, for approaching us and to say a few words about RAL Colours. And if you don't mind, I would now like to share my screen with you and to start the presentation. So first of all, as I think that not everybody of you might be completely aware of what RAL is doing, I would like to introduce our company a little bit. Then afterwards, I would like to switch over and say a few words why we believe that color standardization is so important for our business, and not only for our business, but also for the industrial area. And afterwards, I would like to switch over and show you some information about RAL Classic, about the RAL Design System Plus, and about the RAL Effect. So let me briefly start with a very short company video, introducing my company a little bit more to you. And from the introductory video, you will see that RAL is much more than just RAL Colours.
Gentian blue, light blue, sky blue, Capri blue. When you work with color, you depend on a color system that's understood worldwide. You need a high degree of both, security and inspiration. You need products that are truly environmentally friendly, not just appear to be. You need to be sure that a test mark means what it says and can't be falsified or misused. Customers need to be absolutely certain they're getting the best quality for their money. This is what RAL stands for. We develop quality standards and hand them down. We ensure these standards are met, protect them from misuse, and improve our systems day by day. Our standards build trust between clients, distributors, manufacturers, and suppliers. And this trust builds mutual progress and future success. And that's our aim. RAL, simply excellent.
So what you have seen from this very little video is that RAL is just a little bit more than only colors. As you can see here, we have 5 different business units, and not all of them deal with RAL Colours, but as this is the focus of today's presentation, we have 2, but let me focus on these 2 businesses that are closely related to RAL Colours. The first one is the core business of what we are doing is that we provide tools and trends for sophisticated and modern color design based upon long-term experience and a global partner network. This is what you find on the top right-hand side. And below that is our academy, where we provide education and knowledge transfer for professional color designs. The other businesses are for sure as important as the color business is, but this would definitely exceed the time limit we have for today's presentation. So let me move over and bring you a little bit closer to what RAL Colours is all about. As you can see, we describe ourselves as the language of color since 1927. So it's just a few more years to go before we can celebrate our 100th anniversary. So indeed, a long and proven track record. Although color business is a relatively small business, we're nevertheless describe ourselves for being a real global player. We cover the world and we are present in more than 150 countries all over the continents. Furthermore, we provide about 50 sophisticated tools, starting from color fans, workbooks, design boxes, and single sheets. So there is much more than just color fans. As mentioned before, we held a long track record of sophisticated experience in terms of color standardization. We define colors, we provide trend reports, and also color trainings. And the big asset, one of the biggest assets we have is the background of our distribution partners, because we run a network of 45 distribution partners globally, and they come from all kinds of industries, starting from architecture, from design, from fashion also, and they all bring in their experience and the knowledge. So that's one of our biggest assets. RAL as a company is fortunately independent and neutral. That means we do not belong to anybody but ourselves. We're a non-profit company without any public grants, which means that we unfortunately don't get any support from the public area or from the government. But the good thing is about that we do not depend on any political interests. We describe ourselves as the world's market leader in industrial color application because that's the area where we come from. And today, RAL Colours runs a palette of 2,500 defined color shades in 3 different color collections. Most of you will probably be familiar with the RAL Classic palette, which consists of about 215 colors almost. We have RAL Effect with 490 colors, and we have the RAL Design System Plus, which we launched in the late 90s, so it's more than 25 years on the market already, with 1,825 different nuances. And we believe that we have the most extensive portfolio for color design in the industry. So as you can see here, we have a long history. As mentioned before, we were introduced in 1927 and launched the RAL Design System. I hope this can be seen also for you in 1993. So we introduced in 2007 RAL Effect. And above this, we always came up with some innovative things. So we describe ourselves really as a good mixture between reliability, which is pretty much important for our customers, but also we are a highly innovative company. As mentioned before, we have these 3 product lines, but above that, you can also have your Fandex in a personalized way, which means with your own cover on it. As you can see here, there are options to insert some more colors. You have the options of take some colors out, which are not needed. So there is also a high grade of flexibility on our side. Having run our business for nearly 100 years now, our customers really come from all kinds of industries. Our roots definitely lie in the area of industrial application in terms of marking, for example, with the traffic signs, passport, ID cards, but also in terms of industrial standards. And this is probably one of the areas RAL Colours is even today mostly known for. Then we are very close to the crafts and the trade in terms of paints and coatings, electrical engineerings, interior, windows and doors, furniture and accessories, where we all fix some kind of standards. The same is valid for architecture, so for interior, and also for the different areas of design, as there is industrial design, product design, communication, interior, or even packaging. As mentioned before, at RAL, we are a relatively small unit with just 20 colleagues working in our headquarter in Bonn, Germany. But indeed, we run a really huge network of different partners supporting us, where we benefit from, which we influence. So we have some kind of design partners with the Institute International Trend Scouting in Germany, the Society of British and Interior Designers in the UK, or the German Design Council. As mentioned, we have distribution partners. We closely cooperate with several universities, mostly in Germany for sure, but we also have close cooperations with universities in China or in the United States. Associations are, as another step, as an additional step, a really important issue for us. Because also there you find color experts coming from many different areas, and they also influence our work because they give a lot of input to us, and yeah, that's something we really benefit from. And besides all these networking partners, it's for RAL not only important to support our customers and our interested third parties in improving their work results. For us, it's also important to provide tools that really that are really following the rules for good design. And as a result of that, we are very proud that we were awarded some prizes in the past, the Design Intelligence Award in China, the German Design Award, or maybe even the Red Dot Design Award, which we were awarded in 2016. So our business focuses also on 5 different areas. It's color definition, which is really important for the industrial area. With the color palettes I've been mentioning before, the standardization is that we really define precise color values for each color. We provide trend reporting information. We will launch our latest trend report for next year in the middle of October, and it will be published for the second time also in Spanish. So if you're interested in, just let me know. We have the color trainings, and we also provide some kind of services in terms of color consultancy, color communication, or even brand design. So why are we so keen? Why are we talking so much about color standardization? I think the answer to that question is pretty simple, because it's really important for customers, especially coming from the industrial area, that they can rely on what we provide. But why is color standardization such a difficult issue, and why is it so complex? And yeah, we try to figure that out. And here is a try to show the complexity of all that kind of stuff. The first point is that color communication is very often pretty imprecise. So if I ask the participants of your conference about to mention a blue for a summer sky, I'm pretty sure that I would get different answers, many different answers. The same is valid with another example, which is called Indian summer. It can be reddish, it can be yellow, it can be browns. There can be numerous numbers of different answers. So communication about color is not that easy, because it's also depending on different influencing factors. As a first one, we have the light conditions here. And as a first impression, definitely everybody would say here, if you take a look at A and you take a look at B, they are showing different shades of gray. But do they really do? No, they don't. It's just depending on the light. That gives you the impression that we're talking about different shades of gray, but indeed we don't do. Then we have some influencing factors that really perceive our own color perception. It's the construction of the eye, the lighting conditions, as mentioned before, the design of the surroundings, the underground or surface character. It's definitely a difference. It makes a difference whether you have a structured surface or you have a smooth or even a steel surface, which is reflecting the light significantly more. The shape of the considered object, if you have a rounded one, a curved one, or whether you have a flat surface, it's definitely different. And our experience, our trainings, whether we are well trained or whether we look at color in a very untrained way. And therefore, we believe that color and color perception are never objective and neutral, but always subject to different surrounding circumstances. And this is why we deeply believe that color standardization and exact color definitions are really essential for, especially for customers coming from the industrial business, because they usually run factories with several production plants. They have to communicate with third parties like agencies, like marketing partners and all that kind of stuff. And therefore, for these companies and for these kind of businesses, it's really essential that they can rely on the fact that a certain kind of a color shade, for example, a blue shade, looks the same everywhere around the world. And this is the biggest asset, one of the biggest assets that RAL provides. And this is why we have become so strong in the area of industrial application. So let me move over maybe and dive a little bit deeper into our product lines to make you maybe a little bit more familiar with them. And the most well-known one, and maybe it's the most popular classic collection or color collection on a global scale, is indeed RAL Classic. RAL Classic was introduced in 1927 with initially 40 colors, and it consists today of 215 colors, 198 of which are solid colors, 15 pearl colors, and we have 2 metallic colors. As mentioned before, we deeply believe that this is the most widely used color collection on a global scale because we sell more than 1 million tools of this collection year by year. And this is not because our performance is so poor, but because it's really successful. Maybe one of the secrets why this collection is so successful is its simple codification with 4-digit numbers. We start with 1000 as the yellows, then we have the orange. For the 2000s, we move over to the 3000s with the reddish colors. Then we go with the purple and so on. This can be read here by you easily. And it ends up at the 9000 with the yellows and the whites and the blacks. One of the key elements which is really important and which differentiates us really from other, let's call them market companions, is that the colors in our range do not change for at least 20 years. That means companies can really rely on that if they follow the classic line, they will get the same color and the same appearance even 10 or 15 years later. The key customers for this palette, even today, still come from the coatings industry. And thereby we really cover the whole process chain, starting with the paint manufacturers, the full supply chain, the dye superstores, the painters, interior decorators, the bidding authorities, or even the architect. But in addition to that, we see more and more industrial designers using our palettes, lots of powder coating companies, the furniture industry, and for sure other industrial applications like marking or labeling. The success of RAL Classic has led to the fact that this collection is today available practically on so many tinting machines. Here is mentioned on practically on every tinting machine. Might be a different story in Southern America, but in terms of Europe, in terms of North America, and in the meantime also in terms of Asia, this classic color collection is really available everywhere. On top of that, RAL Classic colors are used in many design and CAD programs, and all products are manufactured by an elaborate paint stroke process. That means please do me a favor and never talk in terms of RAL color fans about a printed product. We think that our products should really reflect the color in a way as it will be applied in practice afterwards. So all of our products are coated with real varnish. There is no printing product available from us, and this is something which really differentiates us from some other companies. A few things you should really be aware when working with RAL colors, and especially with the classic range. RAL Classic is a historically grown color collection which was developed from industrial application. It is available and well known throughout the entire process chain, and it's following a global usage because so many globally active companies are using the classic collection and to make it available worldwide. It still focusing on gray and white shades and contains a limited number of pastels, but nevertheless it's a standard tool in architectural design and industrial applications. And to give you a slight impression of how many different tools we provide, I am showing you here a very colorful overview, which is starting here from the primary standards, which are needed for especially the coatings industry to provide the recipes for their own products. And we have a fan deck here. We have plastic color samples. We have here the K4 ring binder. So we have many different products, and we believe we provide for all kinds of color work, whether you define as an industrial designer or whether you provide a mood board, you create a certain collection. We can provide you with a sophisticated tool that really fits your needs. And here is just an impression on the most popular RAL Classic colors last year. So you see a lot of whites and blacks still as the most popular colors, but you find also some very bold and strong colors here, like the pure red, the traffic red, a colza yellow, or a golden yellow. And let's move over a little bit from theory into practice, just to give you a very brief impression about to which extent RAL colors are used and in which areas they might be used. One of the most, we think, impressive practical application is the Ferrari World in Dubai, which is an entertaining and inspirational spot at the same time. It's using a very noble RAL aluminium color, which is here the gray one, the white aluminium, and put it aside the Ferrari red, which I have to admit is unfortunately not officially a RAL color. But nevertheless, it really gives an important push, especially if you take a look here at the middle as well. And this is a really brilliant example for RAL Colours application. A totally different area, but nevertheless as important as the Ferrari world, is an application in terms of flooring. The foyer and floors of a university in Germany's capital, in Berlin, was covered in RAL 5014 in pigeon bloom. And what you can see here is that the example is wonderful because it links a certain kind of message with a blue color to some very important key issues, key properties of a coatings, of a floor covering, as this is noise absorbent, light resistant, and highly elastic for a very comfortable walking. One last example for color replication in terms of RAL Classic is the usage by the German railway company, which uses here as the example for its regional trains RAL colors as well. And here we have a really significant number of RAL colors being used to mark their trains. So it really reflects to which extent RAL Classic colors are applied in many different areas in terms of industrial application. But this was just a very quick jump into this area. If we had time enough, I could for sure show you thousands of more examples, but unfortunately, we don't have the time to use to go further today. Another quick example is the DHL delivery company, which is also using RAL colors. And it's marking here as well. The horse trailers. And now we move over to the second palette, which is the RAL design system, which is based upon a systematic approach, showing the complete coverage. It has got a manageable number of color nuances, but indeed it should be more than just 215. It should contain simply and clearly defined color numbers and supporting creative design processes. One last functionality, which I cannot cover today, but it should also allow the presentation of so-called synesthetic effects, which means that it touches more than just one sense. So here we also have the target groups, as we've seen before. In addition, at the RAL design system, we also see scientific color experts. It should be easy to understood. The orientation using simple color numbers helps to understand basic work. Let's move a little bit more into the RAL design system. It consists of 3 axes. This is the lightness axis, which goes from up to down, the red and green axis, which is here going from left to right. And you can see as the third one, the blue axis. And in order to determine the 1,825 colors of the RAL design system plus in the color space, it is divided horizontally, vertically, and on one level into consistent distances of 10 degrees each. In the yellow-orange area, there are few additional intervals as the eye perceives significantly more colors in this area. So we have 39 base shades in total. The red starts at 0, yellow at 90. Here we have the greens and here we have the blues. And these base shades are called the hue of a color and is reflected by the first 3 digits of the RAL color name. So what you see here is a 7-digit RAL color name, and now you're among those who know, because now you know that there are not only 4-digit RAL color names, but also 7-digit RAL color numbers. The first dimension is the lightness, and it stands for the height of a color in the color space. It's reflected by this central axis here, whereas black, the lightness starts at 0, which is a pure black, and it ends up at 100 with a pure white. And the lightness of a color is indicated by the second block in the RAL design system plus color name. As the third dimension, we have the chroma, or the saturation of a color, which is called C. And this is standing for the distance of a color to the so-called gray axis, which is in the middle of the color space. And in the RAL design system, the saturation is described with the last 2 digits. So in total, the color names in the RAL design system plus are so-called HLC color values. And for example, we have here the 240-80-20. And this color is made up the base shade blue with a high lightness, 80 degrees, and a low saturation of 20%. And also in the RAL design system, we provide so many different tools for you. Also here, starting with a fan deck, then we have single sheets, we have design boxes, a color atlas, which is really showing the systematic of the system. And also we have the color plastic samples here. What we see in difference towards RAL Classic is that the most popular RAL design system plus colors are, I would say, a little bit more reluctant and a little bit more pastelic. As you can see here, it starts as the second most popular color with a pastel sand. We have here the pine green. We have a navy blue, which is a little bit more saturated, but we have chestnut red and teakwood brown. So significantly less whites and blacks, but more pastelic and lower saturated colors. Also here, I would like to show you some colorful cases. And one which is coming a little bit more from terms of interior architecture is what we call Citygate Bremen. Bremen is a city in Germany, which is a building complex directly opposite to the historic train station. And the 2 7-story commercial buildings on the main station area, they are positioned as the new gateway to the city. And yeah, you can see also here what you can do when creating with the RAL design system plus. So there are so many options to really make a wonderful interior design. Here we have something which is coming from the city of Hamburg, which is designed as a new color concept and color guiding system for children and teenagers at a middle school. And also this is using RAL design colors. One of our most impressional application for RAL design colors is the Google Headquarter in London. If you look for Central St. Giles as the new urban highlight in London, you can really see this colorful spot in an area where mostly the grays of steel and glass are really dominating. These facades were designed by Renzo Piano, and they consist of 140,000 ceramic elements in 6 different colors. And here I can show you just 3 of them, because this one is repeating here. So as a summary for the RAL design system, it is enabling a systematic and precise, but mostly creative color design. It provides the full coverage of the color space. It's based upon a scientific model, but it takes also into account what can be realized technically. So especially if we talk about industrial design, it's really important that all these colors can really be made by a standard tinting system. The RAL design system contains very simple, understandable color codes. As I said, they are 7-digit, which are supported by creative and emotional color names. And it offers endless options, possibilities to support the development of collections, mood boards, industrial collections, etc. And as final palette, I would just briefly introduce you to RAL Effect as well. RAL Effect was launched in 2007, and it was the first waterborne color fan that was available at that time. It was a new standard in the sector of eco-friendly production of color fans. It contains of 420 so-called solid colors, but 70 metallic colors as well. And one metallic color and 5 solid colors form a harmonically arranged color family. This system is based on 13 waterborne pastes and contains the 100 most popular RAL classic shades. It also offers a very comprehensive assortment of flexible tools for numerous applications. And only RAL Effect offers such a variety of metallic shades in one collection. This palette is mostly used in the area of decorative or industrial application. And the main target groups are powder coaters, which are especially dealing with metallic effects, as you may know. We have industrial designers, paint producers, we have industrial companies, and we have for sure architects. And as mentioned before, also just like Classic or like RAL Design System Plus, we can also provide you a numerous number of tools to sophisticatedly design with RAL Effect. As you can see here, we have the fan deck. Here we have single sheets, another fan deck, and also here we have the primary standard cards. Also, to provide you some colorful cases, we have from a German garage door and door frame producer, which is called Teckentrup. It's a very typical German name, to be honest. We have steel, stainless steel, and aluminium doors, which are available in many RAL colors. And this is here also an example for 2 RAL Effect colors, as can be seen here, RAL 640/5 and 641. And another example also from a German solar panel producer is Schüco, which is, as the solar module is shown here, also producing lots of their products in RAL colors. And this is also a wonderful example here for RAL Effect, which is using here in this example RAL 436. But not only for exterior is RAL Effect a wonderful application tool, it can also be used in lots of interior applications, as you can see here from the medical area. So we have a kind of a German company, but indeed this example is an instrument that is mainly used in Asia. And as you know, medical products mostly focus on life, safety, and reliability. These products can be regarded as a wonderful example for a kind of a German Sino corporation. And especially also here, it is highlighted by its metallic foot here, which is using a RAL Effect metallic color. So let me come to an end. I would like to briefly summarize what RAL colors can provide and to which extent we can help you to do maybe even a little bit better, or to provide you with the right tools and to support your daily business. We say that our tools will help saving time and money by, first of all, clearly defined standards, but also by supporting the complete design process by providing the appropriate tools. We facilitate communication about color, as everybody is talking about the same color values. And we support your daily business with many tools and services. We strengthen your expertise and support your creativity. And that's our aim, to help our customers doing better. As the final slide, I would like to give you a brief insight about our customer areas and also into our customer range. So we have the paints industry on the left-hand side. We have automotive as strong and partners for decades. We have transports here, services, and for sure we have the industrial business as one of our most important customer areas. So let me come to an end. I would say muchas gracias por su atención. It was a pleasure to talk to you, and I would again give a big thanks to the organizer of this presentation. I hope this presentation was helpful for you, and I tried to give you a little insight into what we are doing at RAL Colours here. If there are further questions, my contact details have been shown on the final slide. So if you want to get in touch with me, I would be happy to answer your questions, would be happy to come back on your comments. And yes, say again also a big thanks to our distribution partner, La Compañía Intercolor. And I would like to wish the conference all the best and a wonderful and successful ongoing. Thank you very much, and bye-bye.